AK85. Welcome. Thank you for switching over to the right channel. Shout out Nad Pitt. All right, guys, we're getting ready to get started. I'm your host, Kai Speaks, aka Mr. 215 to 305. And I got my homie Nad Pitt. Where'd you get the name Nad Pitt from?
All right, so my mom and dad named me Daniel Geraldo Tippenhauer. But if you take Daniel, cut it in half and reverse it, it's Nad, and then Tippenhauer. You cut that in half and reverse it, it's Pitt. So Nad Pitt. I used to rap in school like T-I-double-P-D. I didn't want to be Tip D as an as an artist, you know. So Nad Pitt it is.
I thought it had something to do with Brad Pitt.
Nothing at all.
Wow. All right. So now we just learned something new. Just real quick, I guess you could just introduce yourself further than the interesting name, and then tell us where you're from and how you define what a creative is.
Gotcha. Well, again, my name is Nad Pitt. I'm from Carroll City, Florida. I grew up here. I left when I was 17 to go to Gainesville, University of Florida, and I came back 2 years ago in August of 2016. And I think what a creative is someone who's consistently creating despite any type of pressures that society can implicate on them, but most importantly, any type of pressures that we as creatives can implicate on ourselves, you know?
Very good. And you're an artist, so do you consider yourself a rapper? What type of artist do you consider yourself the most?
You know, I can't tell you, because when I get in front of a mic, I barely write my music. It's always a freestyle. I wanted to be a rapper. Like, I wanted to go into this endeavor of being a rapper, but for some reason my spirit did not let me. And like, my first track that I ever put out was like a really cringy song that everybody loved. I didn't like it because I'm like, oh my God, I need to get better at singing. But like, it was Drake raps and sings, but I rap and sing in a very soulful way.
Okay. So do you think there was some kind of dilemma? Because you said you wanted to be a rapper. Do you think there was some kind of dilemma why you think you couldn't, besides the you didn't like your work, but everybody else did, clearly?
I don't think there was a dilemma. I just think I was like really in the moment, and my spirit just kind of took over, and it was like, you know, like you could rap, but that comes from a more masculine side. Like right now you want to talk about how you really feel. And I think that's my more transparent side tends to like come out as feminine. So I think my feminine energy is what resonates with the singing and stuff, and my masculine is what deals with the rapping. Okay,
explains it perfectly. So you basically just broke down rap as, would you say at times rap can be hyper masculine?
I think rap can be overtly masculine. Okay. I'm actually very disappointed with the rap game right now. Okay,
and that's why I asked, would you consider yourself a rapper? Because, you know, just knowing you in a little bit of time that I have, seeing the music that you put out, you know, when I was getting into like music, I kind of like made a lot of like parody songs and like poetry, like saying like, I'm not a rapper, but I like to rap. So that's what led to that question. So tell us a little bit about how you got into rap, or how you got into music, period.
Well, when me and my father were like super tight, before I had a conscience, before I could talk back and stuff, that's when things went wrong. You know, on trips to McDonald's, I don't support McDonald's, by the way. That was this way back in the day, but on the way to McDonald's, Burger King, those Friday, Saturday nights when we had like cheat meals, we would just freestyle in the car. You know what I mean? And it was just fun. There was no ego behind it. It was just like a free release of like, let's see how well I can rhyme. All right, let's see how much I can keep going without having to stop. I stopped that for a little bit, and I joined the marching band at Carroll City Senior High School. I went from a clarinetist into a drum major by my senior year. And then I went to college, and I was just like a lunch table freestyler. Then I got busy with involvement. And then through trials and tribulations and relationships, and like really helping myself out of like a dark space from like a really like, you know, breakups can be really bad, especially like when you're really intertwined with the person. One night, I used to be a heavy smoker. I was having like a celebratory puff with my friends because we had just planned like a really boss assembly. And then my ex called me while we were still trying to like get back together, and it was a very, very aggressive phone call, like very emotionally demeaning and things like that. And I felt the depression I had fought like inch back into my life. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to write my feelings out, but writing was too slow. So I just picked the beat and I freestyled to it. I had the voice memo. I loved it. I felt great. I was happy. I went to my homeboy's crib the next day and I recorded my first track. And ever since then, the crowd reception, how inspiring the track was to to my peers, like, I was like, I want to do this. Like, I've always wanted to do this. And like, I did it. Like, the professionals are singing my tracks in the office, like my peers. Some of them are making fun, some of them are critiquing it, but some of them are actually dancing to it. So like, I'm gonna keep doing this. This is what I want to do.
So it went from, so you always been involved with freestyling. It's always been a passion of yours as long as you can remember.
It's been a hobby.
Okay, a hobby. So then it took for that defining moment for you to really go through something, for you to actually, you know, like you said, drop your first track. And now, what was the name of the track?
The name of the track was Dania Beach.
Dania Beach?
Yes,
and
Dania Beach.
Why'd you name it that?
Because I felt like a lot of my reflection and how I like assessed my emotions and brought myself back up to speed happened in those breaks from school when I went back home to South Florida. My mom had moved from Miami to Hollandale, so the beach I would drive to would be Dania Beach, and I would drive there like around 5:30 in the morning, and I would just be there like listening to instrumentals and just freestyling and stuff. So that was just the vibe, you know. And the sound of the actual instrument was, there was an ocean sample behind it, so I just felt like it made sense, just going with the flow. Your love's a wave and I'm riding. Like, there was like a lot of like ocean terms in the song. So
okay, let's go with the flow. So guys, if you just tuned in, I guess it's a good time to mention the comment section is open. Feel free to ask Nad any questions that you may have. If you think I'm missing anything, even if you don't have a question, feel free to drop some comments, whether it be some emojis, if you like what you hear and everything like that. See, Soul 7 just joined, shout out to you. So tell us, do you feel as though with your music, is your music solely, what makes up the majority of your music, I guess?
In terms of topic? I would say it's 100% passion. But sometimes I dibble and dabble into like conscious theories, things to kind of uplift the youth and kind of get them up to speed with like reality, things that were not necessarily taught in school about like self-appreciation, also woman appreciation, selfless love, and then sometimes here and there I get myself in trouble when I get real political. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so everything you just named right there, I understand this. It sounds like you're basically combating the social norm of what current rap music is, rap culture is today. And do you agree, disagree?
I definitely agree with that assessment, because that's everything I'm trying to embody. Like I tell my peers all the time that I do want to be the antithesis in this industry. You know what I mean? Like if you think about the industry, you think about who's at the top and things of that nature. I want to naturally accrue so many supporters that I reach that place. So on a financial level, I can go back into my communities and do some financial development. But on a very spiritual, mental level, I can decalcify, basically decalcify the pineal gland, because there's a lot of trash that a lot of these young artists are putting into the even younger generations. So there has to be an opposite force fighting that. You know what I mean?
Now, what are your opinions on Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, and even Childish Gambino? Because these are artists who, oftentimes you do find them, you know, combating what rap culture is going towards now, but then sometimes you even still see them getting caught up in that rap culture at the same time.
I feel like, specifically with Kendrick, I feel like he plays into the culture, kind of like a very professional parody. You know what I mean? But I still feel like even though he's very aggressive with the topics he's touching on, they're very surface level, because honestly, once you reach those heights, like, you got to think about your safety. You know what I mean? And once you talk about certain things and you're under certain contracts and people have certain access to you, certain things can happen after you say certain truths.
And you made it for a reason.
Yeah,
you made it there for a reason. Not knocking his talents, but the truth is, there's people who, like you said, there's contracts in place and everything like that, who want us to perpetuate a certain agenda with the lyrics that we put out there and everything like that. So I will, I will go into, you know, because you're a PhD student,
master's degree student. I'm graduating in May 2019.
So just tell us a little bit about what your studies are on.
Got you. Well, in undergrad, I majored in English literature, but I spent most of my time in extracurricular activities, and that's what I learned the most about myself, and that's where I developed the most. And I also saw that I had an impact with like the people who were coming in after me, you know. So I wanted to emulate that impact as a professional. So I pursued a degree in higher education and student affairs so I can come into a similar sphere as a professional, work with the financial resources, work with the campus resources, and help develop our students on that mental, moral development spectrum. But through my journeys, I've kind of realized that I used to want to be a professor, but I thought that was too limiting. I'm like, a classroom, that's too small. And then I got into the field and I'm like, yo, a college campus, that's not impactful enough. And you know, since being a teacher in a public school system, I feel like working with that population is a lot more impactful because the seeds are a lot more rooted when you're younger. The younger you are, the easier it is to take in things, which is why like the music that these people are putting out, like, and the youth are like just spitting it, like it's ingrained. That's why I said there has to be an antithesis. But I want to expand, man. I really do want to change the world. And when I say the world, I'm not talking about my city. I'm not talking about this nation, but I want to cross languages.
Right. So you plan on doing so through music?
Through music.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm
going to use my degree for 352 days to just accrue some income to project myself into the professional arena with the right resources.
Where did you get that number 352?
352 days out the year, right? Unless that's wrong.
65. Well, I thought it was 65.
Oh, 365.
Okay, I thought you was about to hit me with something.
Where's 352 from? Why is that a number? Oh well. I'm Nad Pitt.
He said, "Oh well, I'm Nad Pitt." So, all right. Dang. Here we are.
52 weeks.
Oh yeah. So that's where you got the 352. Okay, so 365, 52 weeks.
Yeah.
24/7. I get it. Okay. When you first dropped your first track, was that in high school or was that in college?
That was in. Actually, I made my first track my eighth grade year in middle school.
And you said that's when things was really going when you dropped the first track, right?
Nah. I mean, my whole gifted class was rocking with the track. I took the Lollipop instrumental from Lil Wayne and I put some auto-tune on my dad's laptop, wrapped into the speaker, and it was a pop. But after December 2016, that's when everything started like happening. I dropped my first EP that I like mixed, recorded myself.
Okay. So you basically 2016. Your mind was already developed. I'm doing this. Yeah. So I'm trying to get at how did you, being so involved in rapping, freestyling, and being such a hobby of yours, how did you stay true to what you wanted to do? Because a lot of kids, especially in 8th grade, if rap is something that you really, whether it's a hobby, whether you decide that that's what you want to do when you get older, it's easy for you to rap about certain things and then actually start to try and portray that life that you're rapping about. So my question is, how did you stay focused onto staying in school and staying on the right path instead of going the other route?
I had a lot of opposition, and like I'm a Leo, so like a lot of my decisions are ego based. Sometimes people think of ego as a bad thing, but you have like your low self and your highest self. But one instance I had is like my closest crew in college, my senior year that I was hanging out with, they told me, yo, if you keep making music, we're gonna have to stop effing with you. Like your content is sinly. Not at all. You know what I mean? They just like really just they really went in, and I really had to prove them wrong. But more than I had to prove them wrong, that's low ego. My higher self is like, I got to prove myself right because this emotionally affected me. I got to keep going, And all my music was about love, and I am love. So it was just very easy to continue that.
Elaborate on that, what you just said a little bit more. What does it mean to be love?
To be love is to be unconditional. To strive to not be judgmental, and to really, first and foremost, pour into yourself, because you can't pour into someone more than you can yourself. You know what I mean? I'm in my head a lot, and right now I'm in the stage of like getting out of my head, but being in my head has allowed me to love myself more because I understand how I feel physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You know what I mean? And when I say I am love, like, forgiveness is a thing, like being selfless is a thing. Like I give my all to the people I love the most, and thank God that that energy comes right back to me. So it's just like it's an evolving roller coaster of like power. I feel like love is power.
Definitely. One of the, there's a whole lot of different types of power. I think love might be the most powerful one of them all. So, what was that eye-opening moment for you that made you decide you wanted to go into education and educating the youth? Because, like a lot of people, decide they want to be a teacher, but you said college was not big enough and the universities wasn't a big enough impact for you. How did you know, or when did you decide that, the youth was the area of education you wanted to tackle the most?
I'm not gonna lie, I think it was a mixture of things. Me being an autism teacher, and seeing how my impact on students on the lowest end of the autism spectrum, meaning like students who have mobility issues, who are diagnosed with other syndromes and things of that nature. Like seeing how on an emotional scale, like that job, I feel like was very spiritual, because since your students they can't speak, but they're doing they have self-injurious behaviors, and they need certain things, they need a certain type of attention. You have to telepathically communicate with them, and feeling that connection, seeing your student run up to you and hearing that your student is crying and having behaviors when you have a sick day and you're not there, that made me understand how much of an impact another being has in another being's life. But even more so the youth, in my studies, the studies show that the impacts that happen before your adulthood are the most important impacts of your life. What happens when you're young stays with you for a very long time, which is why childhood trauma is such a relevant issue that should be tackled today. You know what I mean? That when I had braces, I was always babysitting my orthodontist's son, and very brilliant kid, you know what I mean? But he was reciting some of the most craziest lyrics, and I just saw his pure essence, his innocence. I just saw it really, I got to play with it. I saw how external influences were really draining him of that purity, and I also saw how positive influences kind of leveled them out. You know what I mean? I feel it's easier to tell a child, teach a child, not tell a child.
Right.
Teach and learn with the child on what is right, than going to somebody who's been gangbanging for 30 years and trying to get them to get out of that mentality. Because at that point in time, you are set in your ego.
Yeah, definitely. And you already let a lot of the experiences that you've been through dictate where you want to go in the next couple of years too. So do you feel as though mental health plays a crucial part in that as well? In that early adolescent age? Definitely.
Physical health too. I feel a clean diet is a brighter mind. Being a teacher at a public school, and seeing the food that my students were eating, I was really sad and dismayed. Being a vegan, I'm not critical about the food, but I assess what goes in and out.
Were you able to do anything to change it?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
How did that make you feel? Because I'm pretty sure it made you feel some way.
Helpless. In the moment, helpless. And that's when I was that was my profession. The professional in me was yo, I gotta do this music thing so that on a financial level, I can either create my own institution to serve a certain population and give them what they deserve, or somehow finance a political backing to really restructure what our kids are eating. Because educational reform is one thing, but there's a whole bunch of other sectors within the education realm that can be tapped into that'll kind of blur the lines into what other professionals can do. I can't do everything, but if I pick something I'm passionate about, it happens.
Yeah, definitely. If you pick one thing to focus on, truly, the other things kind of fall into place. It's kind of like working out. A lot of people are focused on, my homie TJ taught me, don't try and work out your whole body, because a lot of people think that that's what gets you the most buff. Try and pick your strongest muscle and then just work that out to the max. And then you notice that other things like your calves start to
catch up.
Yeah, everything else starts to follow. So we do have, trying to figure out if this is a comment or a question from Miss AK85. She said, being a teacher of those with autism may explain why you have a gentle demeanor now. But I viewed one of your videos and there definitely is a higher level of energy, to say the least. Or is that all in just being a performer?
No, man, I'm open. Like I said, I am love, you know what I mean? I'm very open with how I feel. And right now, this is a very beautiful vibe. It's very peaceful, so I'm chill right now. But I will say, I do agree. Working with those students has definitely like calmed me down. I walked into that job, and the teachers didn't say a word because you can't really say much to the students if they don't really understand what you're saying.
Right, they have to understand it a different way.
So you have to be very patient.
Definitely.
So I feel like working there kind of made me a bit of a guru.
So now, let's go a little bit more into the music. Have you performed live into places or anything like that? Now, how was that first performance that you did live? What was that experience like?
That experience was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. I had a lot of very different people there. I had friends from college visit. One of my closest friends, and Fawn and Joe Beats, he came down from Jacksonville in December, right after I dropped my tape. He supported a lot of people were there. It was intimate, but it was in Wynwood. So I was like, my first performance is in Wynwood. You know what I mean?
Wynwood is like, I feel like Wynwood is that heart of like creativity,
of art.
Yeah, the heart of art. So, how did you get that opportunity?
Networking. The week prior, I was at Art Basel, and I saw that there was an event in the specific location I was at, and there was actually it was a pretty big event. Like they had a Japanese rapper, A-Witch, come in and perform. So I like linked with. I was asking questions like, who made this event happen, and it was the sound engineer. So I told him about myself, sent him my information. I'm not gonna lie, he ain't hit me back to perform ever again because it was my first performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
You know. But I will say, 6 months later, I performed for the second time ever in South Florida. And it was an amazing experience because I actually took the time out to just work on my craft and like become that naturalistic singer-rapper. And I sold out a show. It was my first paid show, and I sold it out. I think there was about 150 people in attendance. It was in Woodwood at Woodford's. It was hosted by the Black family. And I had a 30-minute set, and it was a exhilarating experience, man.
Wow, 30 minutes. So I have a couple questions about that. So you mean you sold it out? Did it work in a way like the organizer, gave you a certain amount of tickets and say, hey, if you sell these, then you'll get like a cut out of that? How did that?
I didn't get any money.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get any money, but my overtly humble self was like, this is an opportunity. Y'all gave me a band to rehearse with. And I have a +1.
Good time, exposure,
whatever. But then I realized it was sold out, and I'm like, I need this money. I was like the headlining performer. There was 3 performers: a poet, a poet/rapper, and then me with the band. But I never judge. Like I said, I never judge, and everything is balanced. So I didn't get paid then, meaning I'm gonna get paid next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna come back to you, and that's a good attitude to have. So, what was the set of? Like, you had 30 minutes. Did you have were you worried that you weren't gonna have enough content? Were you thirsty, dehydrated? Like, tell us about trying to keep that stamina up for 30 minutes.
So Father Lip was the bartender for the event, and he had some very exquisite organic botanical drinks that I had a lot of. All my family came through, and especially my cool uncle, so they had a little bit of the Rasta medicine, so I tapped into that. Before the performance, I got some cactus water and a jug of alkaline water, so I was set. I'm always making music, and there's music I performed there that I still have not released. That was in the summer of 2017, and I'm just gonna release that music in these coming months, And it was dope. I was interacting with the audience. At one point in time, I passed out natural smokes. So wraps filled with lavender, sage, damiana, things that actually decongest the lungs and do act as a libation to your body. It was an experience, and I love people, so that 30 minutes felt like 5, honestly.
And did you have anyone to record the performance for you, or was that not allowed?
So one of the members of the organization does have the footage, and I do have some footage on my phone, on my Instagram. So yeah, it was recorded. A lot of people had their phones out, got hella tags. So it was a success, and it is recorded in history. So
okay, if you don't mind, if you could pass me at least a couple clips so I can throw on the YouTube version when it comes out.
I'd rather send you the clips I did last Saturday.
Oh, well, then you do that too.
Yeah, man. I just programmed the show for my job, Love Life Cafe. Dope event, man. The Flex Band was out there. They're a notorious band down here in South Florida.
Okay.
We had a whole bunch of local artists hop on stage for a jam. Dina headline. I sort of headline. I didn't want
Because you organized it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you wanted to give other people the shine.
I love giving people a shine. I actually got to pay my friends that night, yo. I actually got to cut checks that night and pay people off. I ain't get paid, but I got to cut people off. You feel me?
But it's gonna come back, like we keep saying, it's gonna come back to you. Maybe that other opportunity that you didn't get paid where you sold out that show brought the opportunity for you to be a blessing to other people.
And then maybe the next opportunity,
you're gonna get the blessing. So wait, the Flex Band, is that I think I heard of that somewhere. The Flex Miami is there
Flex
Instagram?
Miami. Yeah.
Okay. And then how did you get in contact with them?
Actually, I went to support my great friend, amazing artist here in South Florida, Zorenzo. Phenomenal soulful singer. He was competing for some publishing deals that the Flex MIA was hosting as a competition, and he won. And then I asked him about how to kind of hop on and join, and surely enough, the next season came around, and it was great, and it didn't feel like a competition. It more so felt like a network. I made a lot of great brothers, a lot of great sisters throughout the networking of that event, and even past that season, we're still connected. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about Miami artists. There's the stigma that there's a lot of ego and people don't mess with each other, but when it comes down to it, true art knows art, and art is love, which is why I am love. So those connections stay alive.
I see you got some fan love over here. Art of Sunchild said Nad Pitt.
Hey, what's good, Sunchild? Yeah.
So tell us about organizing that event. What was it called? Love Live?
It was Love Life Cafe's grand opening.
Love Life Cafe.
It's a vegan cafe in the heart of Wynwood. They were opening up basically vegan Starbucks next door. Got a DJ. I had 2 weeks notice, man. 2 weeks notice. I was my boss was she told me, hey, look, on this day we're gonna have a grand opening, and I need you to program the event.
Oh, so you work at the cafe?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she knows about my degree. She knows about my background. So she kind of just we've been talking about a potential, programming role. But as she came to me one day while I was stressed with my midterms and everything, she was like, yeah, so I'm gonna need you to do this. Damn it, it's 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's 2 weeks.
So tell us about that experience. 2 weeks to put on a program, an event, music, you need acts, you need people to come in attendance. What were your thoughts going in, and what were your thoughts afterwards when you...
Let me tell you why I succeeded.
Okay.
Everything I've done to this day, I have told myself I will manifest. There's nothing that I wanted and that was meant for me that I have not acquired. So real quick, eating there all the time. One day I walk in, I'm like, yo, I want to work here. I'm a grad student. I'm a musician. I need something light, but I want to work at a vegan cafe because I do have intentions of messing around with food in the future after I establish my music career. You know what I mean? So that happened. I got the job, and I realized we were moving into a new space, and I was like, I would love to throw some events here. I'm gonna manifest that I can throw events here. I'm just gonna put that out in the air. You know what I mean? So mentally, I was already you
was already getting ready for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the process of doing that, even though I didn't get no confirmation, because I trust myself and I trust my higher source and my manifestations, I was already putting it into people's ears. Hey, look, I'm trying to have gigs go on where I would like you to come out and perform at this venue. I want it to be a paid thing at the same time. And sure enough, it manifested. So those same people I spoke to, that I curated and picked, when the time came and it was 2 weeks notice,
it was ready, already on board. Okay. And then how about spreading the word to people to get people to come out for that grand opening?
When you have a lot of positive energy surrounding an event like that, the work is very minimal. Veronica, the owner of the cafe, has a large network in the vegan community. So she brought out a few numbers, and then I definitely brought out some numbers because the new age conscious vegan community is on point, man. They support the artist community, they support, and plus the Flex Band have their own audiences. my good friends Nick and Kamal, like they were performers. The Great Adventures, they were there as well. They came out and supported. And one thing artists love to do is come out to events and get on a mic. So I advertised that there was going to be a jam with the band. Plus my Instagram popping. So you know when I made a little announcement, you know, looking good with my Soul 7 cuffs and whatnot. You feel me? Like, you know, I got my little 1,000 views. People came through.
Plug this up and the Soul 7 come through. So tell us, do you plan on, you know, doing more events after that one?
Oh, hey, she listens to Up and Away. Oh, thank you. I do plan on making some more events manifest. Last Art Basel, we had an event called Raw New, and it was a blast, man. Huge warehouse. I don't even know how we packed it out, man. But it was a vibe. We had a cooking demo. We had 3 different vegan chefs. Soul 7 on set. She actually got a call from a venue about trying to like plan an event for Art Basel. So all this happened recently. So now like Raw New Part 2 is happening and manifesting. I have to plan another event for the Love Life Cafe so that there's more income happening during Art Basel. And there's a potential Quentin Miller concert in the works that I have my hands on, and contracting him and like having a few local openers open up for him since he's like trying to, you know, get back on the scene in the industry. You know, so it's going to be a busy Art Basel, but it's going to be lit.
Okay, sounds like. So can you know, plug that in? Tell us like when to expect these events coming on.
I can't.
You can't. No?
I can't. The dates are not solidified.
Okay.
You know, but if you follow your boy nad.pitt on the Grizzam, you'll stay posted.
Yeah, and I'm dropping his ad name in there now. You won't be able to click it, as we discovered a few weeks back with Jay, Lily, and Herson. They tried to figure out if you drop the ad name, if you can click it.
Doesn't work. Oh, you interviewed Herson?
No, Herson. So I was out, and Herson interviewed Jay.
Oh, that's lit. I gotta see that interview.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. If you just type in hashtag Time to Tuesdays, you can see all that.
If y'all didn't know, Jay Lily, man, shoot me Jade. Great photographer, great spirit, but that's also a great cousin of mine.
Oh, really? Your cousins?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I was about to ask like how that group. I asked Offset last week, or no, 2 weeks ago, how that group got together, because y'all are a creative bunch for real.
Thanks, man.
Y'all are a creative bunch. I see you guys out there all the time. So Soul 7.
We're a creative bunch because we're all connected right now.
We all connected. So Soul 7 asked when you're dropping your current project.
Hey man, November 23rd. All right, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, probably not YouTube, SoundCloud, all that good stuff, November 23rd. You heard it here first, all right? I'm gonna drop the cover probably a week before November 23rd, but it's gonna be fuego. I got a lot of stuff, man. I got 4 projects. I'm dropping one November 23rd. So just know that around Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa time, there's gonna be another project. And then in January, y'all gonna be like, oh my God, this is great. Guess what? It's old. It's old. 2 years old. I got some new stuff that is amazing, man. Lit.
And what's the name of the project?
So I got the Pitt Tape. It's called the Pitt Tape Volume 1. So basically every time before I drop like an album, I put my all in. I'm gonna drop a mixtape that I'm having fun and experimenting with, because my mess ups, my experimentations are amazing nonetheless, you know what I mean? It's like something from out of this world. So the Pitt Tape Volume 1 Dark is gonna be a very transparent project about some of the emotions that my very positive, bright self have not expressed with the people who support me the most. But I feel like that vibration of music is definitely necessary for people going through their own trials and tribulations, you know? And then Balance, which is more of like radio play, and then Light, which is really about love and just being your highest self, you know?
I'm looking forward to November 23rd. That's what I'm looking forward to. And so did Soul 7. She said she's looking forward to it. Miss AK85, she asked, do you choose your outfits for your videos, or do you have like a wardrobe designer? Yeah, so
this is my chill outfit, and I got so many good compliments on it today. You know, I style myself all the time, all the time.
What's the accent you doing?
I don't know. Nah, I style myself all the time. I love to go thrifting. That jacket I wore in the Up and Away video, I actually brought for Offset. She ain't wear it, so I was like, you know what?
I'm aware.
I'm aware. Nah, man, life is supposed to be fun, yo. Like, what if this is the only time our eyes can be open? Like, our senses are awake. Like, let's just embrace it. Let's put ourselves out there. Let's be free, you know?
I'm all for that. That sounds like a good plan. Plug yourself in a little bit, because you already plugged yourself in throughout the interview. Just tell us a little bit more about, some more projects
coming out.
Yeah, when's Art Basel, for people who don't know when Art Basel is?
Oh, so Art Basel is a collective of events that South Florida hosts. There's a definitive local aspect where like local artists and local contributors come together to actually uplift ourselves so that our music does have a platform, our art has a platform, our fashion has a platform. But there's also like there's a whole other culture where like people from around the world actually fly into it's a lot of celebrities, it's a lot of stuff happening. It's just like the epitome of Miami is Art Basel at this point. And that's from the week after December 2nd, so December 9th up until like the 13th. So around those days, you're gonna have nothing but options for events to go to. You know what I mean? So,
and I think I even have a frat brother who was talking about coming down for Art Basel as well, who was looking for a whole lot of stuff to do during that week.
I think I want to set up like a calendar of like different options, just so that the public has it. You know what I mean?
Also, love the pieces you wear by Soul 7. Love your outfits and style in the videos and everything like that. You're getting a whole lot of fan love right now, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's love. That's love. I'm gonna do.
So again, man, I appreciate you for joining us. Hold on.
Whoa. What happened?
Nah, I just gotta wait for the bag.
Oh, you gotta wait for the bag? Hey, man, I'm trying to manifest these bags.
Trying to manifest the bag. I was talking about the other bag, the plastic bag.
Can I freestyle real quick?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. You're gonna freestyle. I was just wrapping up the interview portion.
Okay.
So you want to go?
I just want to shout out my people though.
Oh yeah, shout out.
So I want to shout out to the team, the support group team. Shout out to Soul 7, ran by Soul Offset. That's where I get my coppers on my yeened up soul from. Shout out to @RawImage, amazing videographer, amazing best friend. Shout out to Shoot Me JD Moment, great cousin, great photographer, great spirit. Ayana the model, she got to be in one of my music videos one day, man, because she killing it. And then of course Dina Dean, phenomenal songstress. I want to manifest that we all succeed and continue sharing our manifestations and blessings, because this is just the start.
I'm with all of that. I do want to hear you freestyle, and I'm glad that's over so we can really hear the freestyle. So you guys ready for the freestyle? Just drop a heart if you're ready for the freestyle.
I'm not ready, but I can be ready right now.
Okay, cool. What's that you drinking?
Oh, right here? This is chlorophyll water. I'll rap about it.
My dad used to drink that. Chlorophyll water.
It's really good for you. All right, I'm gonna talk to y'all about the chlorophyll water. Real quick, it brings iron to your hemoglobin, makes your lungs open up, it makes your skin brighten up. It's plant blood, you know what I mean? And your skin takes in the sun, just like plants take in the sun, so you better sip on that. This is a beat I picked out. I was rapping with some students today.
Okay.
And they kind of put me on like the lo-fi chill beats, and I'm always like rapping to like the fast stuff. So I kind of just wanted to try it out. So it's like a very genuine freestyle.
Cool. Let's hear it.
When I close my eyes and I go to sleep, I don't wanna wake no more because I need it. Elevating in the armor that I see in Queens, that I be wanting to love, but there's heat there's fiends all up in me when I'm singing it. I just wanna be with my sentimental thing, but I feel like I'm losing myself to the love, which is why I gotta go ahead and toughen up and spaz on the beat like I'm a rapper, real masculine and shit. But get real transparent, cause I know I'm kinda feminine, and I know that there's a balance between the me's and hims and hers, and I just wanna go and give her what is hers. So I write all my verses no more, I just go in my head sore. I just want to be everything, I want to be like a dinosaur. I want to be what I am, what I'm not. I just want to go ahead and be Kakarot. I'm just saying I'm super duper in love. Just want to kiss and just pass out my hugs. Want to go fly, be pure just like a dove. Want to be dark just like the crow. Babe, don't let go.
Okay. I was feeling that. You freestyled that?
I freestyled that.
I don't know how you did it. I don't even know how you threw in the word dinosaur where I ain't think you were going to throw in the word dinosaur.
I can give you an encore, no Jay-Z, I'ma need a Beyonce all up in this thing, all up on the stage, TV screen, get these paper, all these greens, body looking good cause all I eat is the greens now, smoking all up on nothing, I don't need clouds, blue sky open, I need the sun now, I'm a child of the sun, which is why I'm brown now, got the locks up in my hair looking like I'm Jesus, I got lightning in my bars, which is why I'm like Zeus, I got nothing but energy, so I got the juice, I'ma sip that, you know I got nectar, I'm with that homeboy named Hector, info collector, I just want to go connect with the nectar that my baby boo be sipping on, you know that I go head grip on everything that I can, I'm when I walk in band, all up on her left hand, do you ever understand, I know I can be mean, but I don't mean to be mean, I'm just trying to show you everything inside of me, yeah. Please baby, don't go away, please don't play, none of these silly immature ass games, to the Lord I pray, we can stay connected through the eons, something come, I just wanna mumble all the brothers be like, I be feeling like these rappers be sounding real dumb,
The encore is definitely an encore. I fuck with the encore.
Yeah, thanks.
I fuck with the encore. Yo, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to Talented Tuesdays. This is your host, Kai Speaks, aka Mr. 215 to 305. We got your boy Nad Pitt in the building who just rocked the mic. Or
Phenomenal interviewer, by the way.
I try my best.
Phenomenal spouse assisting behind the cam, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to
Can I get a hey?
Hey.
There we go.
Y'all hear it. Y'all heard it first here at Talented Tuesdays. Nad got some projects coming up November 23rd, right?
November
Stay tuned.
23rd. We're gonna interview again next year when like the come up happens.
Definitely, we gotta do it. So again, guys, I hope you tune in next week for Talented Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on your Instagram live station. We out. Hey, I like that background music.